a 1995 American comedy written by Judd Apatow and Stephen Brill. Stephen Brill also directed this film about plump kids being lured into fat camp with the promise of quick weight loss and good times. Sadly, these promises break quickly when the camp is bought by a psycho ex-fitness instructor played by Ben Stiller. Heavyweights made a whopping $17.6 million at the box office.
Oh.
But it was not a success.
Oh.
But over the last 29 years, it has gained a cult following. On IMDb, it has a 6.6 out of 10, and Rotten Tomatoes, it holds a 38%. Yikers. Today to kick off Moist Movie of the Month, the Moist Boys will discuss the Disney Channel cult classic, Heavyweights. Let's get into it.
The bell rings. Papers flying. It's the last day of school.
Oh, school's out, baby.
I wish we could have done that, thrown papers.
Dude, guess what? Every Disney movie starts the fucking same. I'm already cussing, and I don't mean to be.
And it's awesome.
It is, but like that's how every movie. And
Just
it's
an
like
explosion
summertime.
of paper. It's like a confetti cannon's worth.
So yeah, Heavyweight starts off when it's summertime, and like they're in like a California school. I'm guessing because
It feels
it's
that way.
outside.
Yeah.
What I love about this opening scene though is when people are like running and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a kid sitting on the roof.
Yep.
Like,
hanging out.
dude, it's just like as soon as the bell rang, chaos.
Yep.
And
Well,
some kid just climbed up there.
There's
and
kids making out and stuff. And then
papers are. Dude, but I'm pretty sure, like when the bell rang, summer vacation, nothing happened. Like we just left.
that one year you ran home.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. But also, like when you're a senior and like it really matters, you're not even there for the last day of school.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, because you're done early.
Yeah. You think my last day at school, I was crying.
Oh.
It was last
You
radio.
got kicking the ball. Oh.
No. What? You just assumed that?
I don't know. High schoolers are weird. But today, Heavyweights, we're not talking about high schoolers. We're talking about 11-year-olds, I think.
I don't
Junior
know.
high?
That had to have been high school, though.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he says like he's 11. I'm pretty sure the
okay.
main kid is like 11. Even though,
That would kind of make sense.
yeah.
But now he's on his way home from school.
This movie immediately
Hammers in that this kid is a loose.
Yeah, just
it's a little rough.
Made me feel so bad for this guy. Like, he walks by a baseball field and he can't throw a ball over a fence.
No, he tries like 5 times and the coach is laughing. Also, why are kids already playing baseball when it's still just the time that this kid is walking home from school? Like, when did they start?
But also, if you're fat, you can still throw a ball.
You also just underhand it over.
Yeah.
Because he ends up like just kind of like dinking it.
And what's so
over
funny
to
is
the
it's
lower
one shot. So like that's the camera never breaks. He just,
No. And everyone's laughing at him. Poor kid.
I did read though, real quick. We're already jumping into fun facts, but this movie only took like 2 months to film.
Yep.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
That's wild. And they filmed it like 2 different summer camps, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he's on his way home. It's summer vacation. He's excited to just relax.
And somehow already, even though school just got let out, there's a lemonade stand that he walks past.
How is everybody? Okay, yeah, I know.
And one of her, I'll quote a moist email from this one.
Yeah, we
'cause
got a few emails, so thank you guys so much for being a part of this. It was so fun to read them after I watched the movie.
As soon as the captain threw $3 at those kids running the lemonade stand and absolutely scolded the pitcher of lemonade, I knew we were in for a good time.
Yes.
That is from Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan. He watched the movie with his wife.
Yep.
A few people watched it as like a family gathering, and that blows my mind.
Well, it's good for this movie at least.
Yeah,
we'll
that's
see what
true.
we choose in the future.
We don't know yet for March, but it is wild that people brought the family together to watch a 1995 VHS film. I guess I think there is a DVD and Blu-ray release of it now.
I'm sure.
But
But our boy makes it home finally. He's, to quote another email, a Uncle Phil looking ass bitch.
Yeah.
His dad, Jeffrey Tambor.
which is, dude, he looks terrible in this.
Yeah, he looks worse this way than he does when he's just mostly bald.
I love Jeffrey Tambor. He's fantastic. You know, Arrested Development.
Yeah.
He's also in one of my favorite episodes of Tales from the Crypt.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he's like, he plays, spoiler alert, a giant fat man.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. Yeah, 'cause he's the one in the fancy apartment one.
Yeah, and like
bugs come out.
No,
or
he's in the episode of Tales from the Crypt where this waitress falls in love with him because the fortune says that he has a lot of money.
Oh,
And she doesn't like him, but she's like, I'll stick it through them for the money.
Oh, I thought he was in a different one.
No, he's in that one. That one's good. But as soon as he gets home, this guy is there ready to play a DVD. A guy from Brother, Where Art Thou?
Sure,
and a few other things.
Like Men in Black. He
But
plays an
just,
alien.
Yeah, it just looks weird.
He's a dude I wouldn't want to walk into my house on.
And he's just so smiley.
Yeah.
I think his suit is a little too big.
He's got a DVD for
Yeah, probably a VHS back then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pops one in for Camp Hope.
Camp Hope.
Which, I love that it looks great until you realize, like, it's a fucking fat camp.
Yeah, but you don't. They don't tell you immediately.
It's at the very end where
It's
he's
at
like,
the
it's a
very
great
end
way to lose weight.
when they just show all the fat kids. Like, I was like, what is going on, dude? What's wild is I don't remember if I'd ever seen this movie before,
Okay.
but then I remember when we got to certain scenes because we watched it together.
Yes.
And that was fun. But when we got to certain scenes, I like knew it was going to happen, so like it was like deep. So I must have seen it when I was a
Yeah.
kid because I was like, oh, I think I can remember. But also I knew immediately what was going to happen.
Right,
But maybe
yeah.
that's just classic Disney, you know?
Sure, yeah, well, it didn't really follow the formula either. This thing took some wild
Well,
twists.
I had a feeling that like when you saw the DVD, it was not going to be ran by those old people.
Sure, yeah.
Because also I was like, where's Ben Stiller?
Well, fun fact, the old people are Ben Stiller's mom and dad.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah.
And we'll get to this later, but Ben Stiller's character's dad comes in and it's not played by his dad, which is hilarious.
All right, so now we're on a plane, which I think Ryan pointed out again that he got a first class plane ticket, I guess.
Yeah, he's flying by. Dude, where the fuck is this camp that you have to take a plane? I never went to any camps that I had to take a plane.
No, I guess I didn't either. Did you ever fly by yourself as a child?
No, it would be scary as fuck.
It sucks. Because also,
You'd be so alone.
well, because for when I did it, they very much controlled of where I was. So I had to like sit in an office with them. But I was like older, but they were only playing Dora the Explorer in the office. And then they lost my luggage. So I got to where I was alone and had nothing.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah, it did.
That sucks a lot.
But on this plane, what doesn't suck, we meet fucking Keenan.
Keenan Thompson's in this, which is badass as a kid. And
Yeah.
what's wild is Keenan he's had such a great career.
But also, he was a Nickelodeon kid.
Yeah, I know.
Because
So
Good
then now he's
Burger,
on-
all that,
and now
those
he's
were all
on Disney.
Nickelodeon shows.
I think he was in
Yeah.
a few other, but he just was everywhere, and now he's still everywhere.
I mean,
SNL,
he's been
baby.
doing sketch comedy his entire career, which is insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because he also looks...
That's the dream.
He looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it's just a kid version of him, which is like he's never
Still
changed.
just looks like a chubby little boy.
But I love him. Well, and what's wild is he's also on the plane by himself.
Yeah.
And just gets up and walks up to our main character.
To just another... Like, he was like, you look fat. I'll talk to you.
And he's like, "Are you going to fat camp?" That's like his first
Like,
thing.
why would you say that?
Because you're fat. Dude.
Is that your dad? Why would you say that? Because he's fat.
Dude, that was a funny scene because the dad looked just like him, just like a fatter version. And also, that's just these two kids are talking. Imagine that guy.
Yeah.
They're
He's
just
asleep.
Oh, he was, but like the two kids are talking and just calling this old dude fat.
Yeah, like if I woke up to that, like, Jesus Christ.
Go to your seat. I don't know who you are.
You were a chubby kid. Did this resonate with you?
I was a chubby kid. It would have been wild if I had to go to fat camp.
You were that chubby.
No,
but
I
also,
would-
you
a
were
little
probably
plump.
the size of some of the kids at the camp. 'cause-
Yeah, because some of them weren't that fat.
No.
I mean,
Sometimes the camp works.
yeah. I mean, you got to fill the roster.
I do wonder what the auditioning was like.
That's what when we were watching it, I was like, dude, these people got casted because they were fat.
Yeah, but also, I mean, that typecasting's a fucking thing.
Yep, Judd Apatow wrote it in his script. He's like, we need a bunch of fat 11-year-olds.
Yeah, well, he also his earlier the script before this were like, we need some kids that just look like losers.
Yeah,
Like
freaks and geeks, baby,
Yeah.
which is insane.
I mean, Judd Apatow is a genius.
Yeah, he's made a lot of stuff.
Probably like if you look at like full rosters of like people's work, he's got to be up there as one of the best.
Well, there are a few things where, like the bubble or whatever, that he.
Sure, yeah, he's had some misses, but like,
You know, they're not all going to be home runs,
Right.
But back in this day, they were home runs.
yeah. All right, so now we arrive at Camp Hope.
Well,
which-
what's wild is, so he takes the airplane and then
Yeah.
he takes the bus, and
Oh,
the
right,
bus
yeah.
ride is so long.
also the bus goes to the airport. That's wild.
Yeah. And then the main camp counselor that I love, he's
Yeah.
fantastic, Pat. I think, yeah. He's just like, oh, since you're new, you're driving the bus.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, okay.
I think he maybe knew it was a joke. I don't know. couldn't drive stick.
I did like his relationship. He seemed like a great camp counselor.
No, Pat is like legitimately the best dude.
Because I went to like Boy Scout camp and stuff when I was a kid, and there were a few. He's all adults, like, hanging out with kids. But there were a few people that I was like, "Oh, you're like amazing.
Yeah,
you're like a good
person, and you were making this awesome for me.
Yeah, and you're just having a great time at summer camp.
When they're driving down the road, it's just fast food places. Yeah, and he's swerving towards them,
and he's like, "Just kidding." It is wild though that like the main counselor is chubby too.
It's like, does this camp work? No. Is it awesome? Yes.
Which they're for fun, dude. Go karts.
Better way to do it. Yeah.
The Blob.
Yeah.
Which I've never done.
I've always wanted to do one of those.
It does seem kind of scary.
Yeah, it's gotta I feel it's gotta hurt a little bit.
Well, because the initial you jump and then just hit plastic. Yeah. And then which launches somebody, and then you crawl over and someone does it to you. And then you just go flying.
Just hopefully into a lake.
What if you just go up and back down on the blob and the other kid
just like shoots them back?
Just lands on the dock.
I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah, probably.
But now we're at Camp Hope and we're meeting all the kids and they're all great. They're all plump and great.
Dude, what I love about the cast is every kid is like a specific demographic.
Well, they definitely have like they have one thing.
Yeah. So like
little British one.
Yeah, the British dude with an accent that's like all posh and shit. What is that about?
I don't know. There's the weird nervous, the tall one. Yeah. I think he's the heaviest one, but he's also like shaking his head when the bus drives past, and that's never referenced again because he's just another camp kid.
Dude, that was weird as fuck when the bus pulled in and that guy was with a stick, like he was already there, just shaking his head, and then the music shifts into but he's a dark menacing, like what's going, and then they never address it.
No, because that kid's just friends with he goes on adventures with these kids, and like he didn't know anything was happening.
It's so funny, dude.
And then I wrote this note, but I wasn't the only one because now we make it to the chipmunk. Or what the bunk.
The bunk, where they stay.
And Josh feels exactly like Joey Diaz.
Yes.
And another listener added that fact in too.
He's like plays like a mob character.
Like
he's wearing like
a
fucking sweatsuit or whatever.
Which
and he talks like with an accent, like a mob accent, but he's a kid. And it's so funny.
This is where our main kid says, "I snuck in some Oreos," and he's like, "Oh, did you? Looky here."
I think he says downloading now or something. And
something like that.
And then that's when all the kids, and I do remember this scene when I was a child,
right, yeah.
When they just fucking all tear out candy and hide it in the bunks. I love that they hide it under chests. They hide it in the beds.
Or the secret hole in the floor.
One guy has fucking meat taped to his back.
A few kids have meat.
I get like candy and stuff, but
also,
meat?
But like,
that's so
I wouldn't want just candy because candy you can feel so sick so quick. Even like as a kid, you could. Yeah,
but candy's a good, like, you bring a bunch to a week at camp. Well, I'm guessing it's more than a week at camp since they flew.
And they're supposed to lose weight.
Yeah, so you got it, and then you can just snack on it whenever you want.
That's true.
The camp does feed you real meals.
Yeah, they're supposed to.
Oh, yeah, they're supposed to.
But, foods. And what is with the kid who had the chocolate melted, and another kid just palms it, and this is one take too.
This is disgusting.
No, I paid attention. This is in one shot, so they do this where the kid has melted food on him, and another kid wipes it off of him, and then says this isn't sanitary, and then eats it,
and then licks his hand like he wipes his hand on this chubby dude's belly. That's melted, and then licks it. Dude, that's disgusting.
Good for the kid though. That's a great acting moment.
Yeah. Dude, imagine an adult, like the director of this movie is like, all right, here's what I'm gonna have you do, okay, kid?
Judd Apatow's just like, get into it.
No, it will be funny, okay? Trust me. I mean, Freaks and Geeks.
Because I feel like all this is like, get it because you're fat.
I don't know if this movie is problematic.
I think it's overall very positive.
I think it is a positive movie.
Because also it's about that they can achieve stuff, but also even at the end it makes fun of like they're not good at physical activity. Yeah, so I don't know.
It's team building, bonding, and
then
like
being happy with who you are, but also it's like look at the fat people trying to do shit.
Yeah. And that's the joke. And I do think there are probably a few things that probably couldn't be said.
There's some things you would remove for sure.
But it is wild that this was a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, and I enjoyed
PG.
it.
This was rated PG. I bet they could not make this for Disney Channel.
No. I guess I don't know if Disney Channel movies are still going off like this. I don't think so.
They still make them, but
they have to, but they can't be like this.
No, they probably suck.
I bet after like High School Musical, they never got that magic
back.
Then
they did like, I think I like the first Camp Rock.
Those movies are weird if you watch them again.
Yeah, but that came out a little after High School Musical.
I would much rather go to Camp Hope than Camp Rock, without a doubt.
I mean, I like some of the girls at Camp Rock.
The
There's
blob,
only one woman at
and
Camp
she
Hope,
is hot.
the nurse, baby. We get introduced to her at the beginning of the day.
Yes.
This is her. I like how it's her first date too.
Yeah, so it's her first day, and then we go to the big meeting with the people who own Camp Hope, and it turns out Camp Hope has gone bankrupt. Which, like, the only way we can kind of figure out how is when he screams, "Never let anyone sign your checks."
Yeah, I like how
He screams that, and this is Ben Stiller's dad screaming that
Jerry
out.
Stiller, I think his
I
name
love
is.
him, yeah.
Dude. Yeah, I know him from Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm pretty sure.
No,
Or
King of Queens.
Kings of Queens. Yeah, I know him from that. But he's so upset. But also, when we were watching it, I was like, "So you waited till everybody got here to
First day of camp
to tell them that the camp is done,
It's sold."
and also all the counselors don't know." And you hired a nurse.
Oh, right. Because we do also meet the other counselor at this point, too.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, this guy's awesome. This is my favorite camp counselor. His name is Tim.
Yes.
And Tim is 100% Taylor.
The man who recommended this movie to us. If you watch our episode Poppin' Pennies, that is our man Taylor.
Dude, if you've never put this in your... I'm talking to one person right now listening. Taylor, if you've never thought, oh, that guy's similar to me,
That is
watch
you.
again. It's 100%
Watch
you.
it from his point of view and realize.
The way he acts, the way he does it, and I love him.
A lot of his like phrasing, the way he yells stuff.
The way he does things, like he just goes, "Oh, that's not good." Like it's 100% you.
Yeah. So everyone shows up. Parents are mailing their children across the country, and it turns out, oh, the people you thought owned this camp. And also, who the fuck is the guy who showed up at his house to tell them about this camp?
Because we never see him again.
No, like he doesn't work at the
So
camp.
does he just go around the states looking for fat kids?
Yeah, and he follows them home, but he talks to the parents.
But he has to like find rich enough families.
Yeah.
Because they got to pay for camp and the airplane and all that shit.
Right. Yeah, you got to get your kid there.
Yeah, because I think when later on, that one kid gets kicked out, spoiler alert, but his family still gets charged.
Well, no, that's how he gets back in.
Oh, that's how he gets back in, yeah. Joey Diaz. It'd be so awesome if it was Joey Diaz.
Just as a child.
Just as a child.
All right, but now the camp is sold, and we find out who bought the camp. Tony fucking Perkis.
Tony Perkis, played by Ben Stiller, and dude, he's
Incredible.
He's amazing.
I have never, like, the way Ben Stiller must have felt doing this role, I've never felt that free.
Yeah.
That
Dude,
you were it.
He's a psychopath. And 100%, this is what I thought. 100% Ben Stiller's character, Tony Perkis, reminded me of
White Goodman.
Of White Goodman from Dodgeball. It is 100%
exactly the
same character.
Yep.
He's just an evil psychopath that's also used to be fat and now is in great shape.
All right, but something I noticed because I've seen this movie before, I didn't remember all the details. Something I noticed for the first time is that Tony Perkis was raised in like private things, and this is his first time interacting with children. They say that.
Oh yeah, he goes, and this is my first time interacting with children.
So that sheds a whole new light on everything. That must have been a throw-in line, like post everything to like explain how weird he is. But like then it's like when I heard that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna view this as I kind of feel bad for him, but you get rid of that so
no, you lose it
quick.
But also, why would you buy a camp?
Well, because he's trying to sell the idea of that he can do this to your kids.
He's making infomercials.
Yeah, because it's immediately an infomercial scam, I think.
Yeah,
because he already has like backers and shit.
And the guy that's following him around with a camera is from a bunch of Adam Sandler movies. I love
that guy.
He plays such a weird guy in every movie.
This is the best he's ever looked though, because even Izzy watching this was like, "Why is that guy hot?" I'm like, if you see anything else he's in,
he's not because usually he's like gross.
But he's Grandma's Boy, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
And then he's in a bunch of other
Well,
things.
yeah, but that's like his movie.
I think in Happy Gilmore, he's the guy that only has one shoe on.
That means nothing to me.
Oh, it doesn't. If you know Happy, like he's someone's caddy. He's Gilmore's caddy. And he's like, it looks like the ball goes to the left, and he goes, "You're saying that because you only have one shoe on."
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
Because another factoid I figured out from Tony Perkis thing that I wrote down: at age 12, I weighed 319 pounds.
Jesus Christ!
Because I guess. Sorry if you are that. Is that feasible as a 12-year-old?
Well, so I'm imagining these boys at camp are 11 and 12 years old, and then they weigh them.
Right,
and
because I wrote down...
But they're like 140 pounds.
That's what I think our main kid
So how
weighs.
was he double that?
All right, so Jerry is 141 pounds.
Yeah, so he would have been more than double that.
Yes.
That's fat.
That is round. Yeah, he's a ball.
That's plump, dude. It is wild how many times I'm saying fat, but it's like that's the only way I can
We
say
ha-
we have to.
It's a fat camp. Like, yeah, it does feel weird doing
It does
that.
feel
but
very
that is,
problematic.
that
'cause
is
they're
the
talking about
nature of
kids.
this film.
I'm just like, it's a fat kid.
And like, I think it's positive overall.
I think
I would
so.
say there is a lot of body positivity while also poking fun of like, yeah, you can't do a pull up.
This movie's awesome.
I don't know.
This movie's awesome. It's ridiculous.
But like Tony, like he's pretty crazy, but not completely crazy at this point. But
Yeah, but
now
he's put on a show.
We get back to the chipmunk bunk and we meet true crazy fucking Lars.
Lars is one of my favorite characters.
Oh my god, Lars is incredible. I love weird German dudes typecasted because they show up. They show up way more than you think.
Yeah, and they always play like a henchman, and he's just like super in shape, and he's
Yeah.
like now in charge of the bunk.
And like it's the idea of like the German stereotypes are always so weird because they're rather like really angry and like kind of Nazi-esque or discotheque, and Lars is discotheque
Yes.
German, and I
okay,
love it.
but also
Little Nazi in there, yeah. It's always a little,
There's always
yeah.
a little bit, just because of the type of character you're playing.
But like
he's like a soldier.
That is the spectrum: is discotheque and Nazi for German characters, especially back then. And
yeah,
it's so
in every
fucking
movie,
weird.
dude. But I love him.
I would say Lars is center left.
I at first I didn't like him, but he came around.
Oh, he came around real
he
hard.
came around hard.
But
dude.
also, when we meet Lars, he warns us that he breathes kind of or he sleeps
Yeah,
kind of
dude.
weird. Don't worry.
He goes, "What? Why do they have to include this? I don't understand this." Because they just go,
Wait, I'll get the exact quote because our buddy Taylor put this in. When I sleep, I make a very disturbing sound. Don't be alarmed. I am fine. Love it.
and then it just cuts to the morning, and he's snoring, and all the kids are awake because they couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I wish it was even a weird, like, because it was just an aggressive snore.
Yeah, dude.
I wish
But
he was
also,
just like,
"Why did you?" Yeah, he's like him screaming,
Or just screaming in German.
That'd be so funny, dude. I don't know how to do voices.
It's not just I. That's not German.
Nine?
Yes.
Is that close? That means no. He's having a bad dream if he's screaming that, probably.
There you go. But now it's morning time. We hear the morning announcements.
Yeah.
And the first word of the day is values. I think we could all learn something from that.
Yep. Values.
And we cut straight to the good old fucking glide and slide. I wanted to try one of these so bad.
It's so funny how good, because there's close-ups of Ben Stiller doing it, so I don't know if he's actually doing it. But then there's
Glide.
wide shots, and you see him actually
Glide.
doing it. Yeah.
He's
And then dude, the kids are just. I love how the kids
wanna
are
know how
just
slippery they
falling.
are.
That you can tell they're overacting in this part.
Right, yeah.
But I love it because every time they get up, they just keep falling. And there's a shot too, it's like a pullback wide shot.
Yeah.
And they just keep falling, and Ben Stiller's just slide.
glide. He's saying glide and slide.
It's so funny, dude.
Damn, I can't find it. I'll look for one of these. I wonder what they actually are.
Do they make them anymore?
I don't know.
That'd be awesome if they did.
But now it's weigh-ins. And can you
Yep.
imagine being weighed in front of your peers?
No, but also it's fat camp.
That's the other thing about this is that Camp Hope, it's promoted as a fat camp, but they do not ever lose weight. Like, it's
No.
very clear none of them have been losing weight for the years they've been going.
Well, and it's also I think it's Keenan that says this like early on.
Yeah.
Is he goes something about like you're at fat camp now, so now you're not just a fat guy.
Right, yeah.
You're just
We're
one
all
of,
fat
we're all-
guys. Yeah.
You're just one of us.
Yeah,
Like,
which
so like
awesome.
that's fantastic.
No, that's great.
but then when you leave camp,
Yeah,
you're
we'll get to that later,
You're
yeah.
still the fat kid.
But like, yeah, so I don't think any of the kids were really trying to lose weight because also I don't think it's the kid's job at that point.
No.
like,
But
they-
also camp. Even when I went to camp, it's a lot of blast, but you're walking everywhere.
Yeah, that's
you
right. I
are
bet
doing,
it is a natural workout.
Yeah,
like
it's
you
a
can't
natural-
not do
because
a-
you're hiking. You're outside all
well,
day.
even like they're doing activities like
Yeah, exactly.
which would
So-
cause like because any activities I think would help
Yeah.
kids who are obese. I would assume.
I remember sleeping so good at camp just because I was so tired every day.
Sure, yeah.
Because it's like you wake up
Well,
and
also,
you're
if
always doing shit,
when you're with friends 24/7.
Yeah.
You are gonna play
and you're just
Yeah.
hanging out. Yeah, it's awesome. You're just having a blast.
So here we find out that Jerry is 141 pounds, and his goal is to lose 17 pounds.
It's not his goal. That's
Well, wait, the goal is to lose 17 pounds, which
Tony just knows immediately. He goes, "You need to lose 17,"
yeah.
which isn't that bad.
I think that's pretty bad for a kid, though. Because
Yeah.
remember, they're still growing.
yeah, they're 11.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I'm sure that.
Yeah, once puberty hits, you can have a growth spurt and be skinny.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
that's
if
how
you
that's what happened
don't
to
take
me.
in enough. Yeah,
I
yeah,
went-
that's true.
Yeah,
That
I
is,
was
yeah.
fat, and then I got tall, and then I just stretched.
all
so I
stayed
weighed the
there,
same.
God, because when I was 12, I probably weighed like 90 pounds.
I probably weighed 120,
Sure.
130.
Yeah, because I weighed that at like the end of high school.
Because at the end of high school, I was weighed like 145.
That's what I weigh now.
That's insane.
I know.
I'm like 10 pushing 2.
I can't gain weight. That like I could have never gone to fat camp.
Yeah.
Even though it looks
You could
so
be a
fun.
camp counselor.
There you go. I do like that they make fun of the camp counselor for losing weight.
Yeah, the skinny guy.
Yeah.
Taylor's character, Tim. Dude, Tim is awesome. But they do the weigh-ins, and then everybody has to lose, and then one guy has to lose like a ton of weight, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
well, the fattest kid, and Ben Stiller tries to shame him, but then all the kids start applauding, and he gets so mad.
Yeah, because he's like, you're the fattest kid in camp, and everyone's like, yeah, you are, dude. See, that's awesome. That's like they're all together. They're on the same
There's
team.
Well, also, the whole thing about fat camp is there's no point in shaming. That will not help a single fucking thing.
And Ben Stiller gets so mad. Dude, is this the scene too where he gets so mad that he goes and talks to himself?
No, that's what later. I have that note.
Okay, because that's at the check-in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane when he does that.
But this is when he announces that at the end of the summer they're gonna play against Camp MVP.
Yeah, the camp is called Camp MVP.
Oh wait, no, not even that, but that they're gonna play them that afternoon in baseball.
In baseball.
But Camp MVP, which is the jock camp, which is the most insane thing. The
What
idea
the
of
fuck's
this.
a jock camp?
Well, it's like I think it's a sports camp.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
well,
actually,
no,
like
there's baseball camps,
baseball
there's basketball
camps.
camps. Yeah, there's camps for.
So then-
there's camps for healthy kids too. To do
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, that's true. So then they play this baseball game, and what's wild is, so they've said, oh, we lose every year. So then in my mind, I was like, okay, so Camp Hope used to be awesome, fantastic,
But you still had to
play baseball against
You
this
still
team.
got because they still did the relays at the end too. I think.
so
they
they
just accepted that they got destroyed.
So you loved camp so much, but you still got humiliated in these games.
That's just part of it.
It's
but
just wild.
I think it's because they never prepped for it prior. But then we learned that fat kids cannot play baseball.
Well, we already knew that from the beginning. Remember?
That's true. Yeah,
Remember
he
when
could
tries
not
to
throw.
the ball?
Yeah, we didn't get a. I don't know. Oh no, this kid asked for a nurse.
Well, because
but
everybody's
he was in the outfield.
everybody's getting hit in the face with balls.
Well, that's my note too. Is kids are actually getting hit with something. In
Yeah,
this
dude,
scene.
it's so many like people in the outfield, balls in,
In
the
the
face,
face,
And
balls
then
in
they're-
the balls, yeah.
yeah. Someone gets hit in the balls, which is so funny, and then they're just all bruised, bloody, and tattered,
and going to the nurse.
going to the hot nurse.
Yeah, I'd go to the hot nurse.
I'd go to the hot nurse.
Yeah.
But
and this is when I wrote the note. Tony feels like Ben Stiller pretending to be like the crazier version of Tom Cruise.
yes,
It felt that
He
it was
has
that energy
He
a
has
lot.
that Tom Cruise energy.
Yeah.
in this
Which is
in this movie
terrifying.
specifically.
Yes.
Which is like it's weird, but if you know what we're talking about, it makes a lot of sense.
Now we go back to the chipmunk bunk.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is when he realizes like things aren't working, but he finds a secret stash.
Yes, he finds a secret stash because he looks for their bunk.
and then one of his fucking lackeys who used to be a chipmunk
What's wild is he was like, I think he went to the camp last year, and then all of a sudden,
last year.
and then all of a sudden was old enough to be a fucking guy in charge.
Well, and also this kid's still like chubby.
Yeah.
So I don't know how he got brought in the
And
mix.
then he reveals the hidden secret spot of all the candy.
Yeah, we get a fucking snitch.
Dude,
And
that pissed me off a lot
Yeah.
because I was like, you were one of them.
right, yeah. How
This is brotherhood.
like are you getting paid like a lot to
Why
do
do you
this?
like Tony so much?
Right, yeah.
You just met this guy. So did this guy. We don't know anything about this guy.
Yeah.
But did this guy show up to camp to like be a camp guy or like go to camp, and then Tony signed up and was like, "Oh, you're too old. You got to work for me now."
Or maybe he was gonna be another counselor,
Oh yeah,
but
maybe he
joined
was just.
Tony. But he was
none of
he
the
was
other
with Tony.
None
Yeah,
of the other counselors. Did.
I don't know.
It just they never explain it.
No, so like Tony reached out to this guy, I guess, and was like, "You've
mean,
been to this camp. I'm trying to change it
That's
up."
how there's a.
I guess.
Disney movies. There's like plot holes. If you
Well,
think.
there's just convenient shit.
They just go, "Yep, don't ask about it."
But another character we meet in this scene is Seymour Butts.
Yeah, dude, this is so funny because the Joey Diaz kid,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to call him from now on. The Joey
Sure.
Diaz kid talks back to Ben Stiller, and it is like, it is so badass.
Oh, so
Seeing,
you know
seeing 11-year-old kids
Yeah.
just like saying, fuck you, adults.
You know, I think he's the only kid who calls him Uncle Tony.
Yeah, I love
Because
it.
he calls him it a few times, which I think is so interesting.
Which fits his character. That's
Yeah,
what they
that's
do,
true.
Uncle
Yeah.
Tony.
But we both found this fun fact that Seymour Butts was not the original joke.
Yeah.
Because I think the joke is, who's seen more butts? And then reply is, "No one's seen more butts than you, I guess."
No one's seen more butts than you, Uncle Tony.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
But he actually says in the movie is like Peter Fitz.
He's like, "Who's Peter? Who's Peter's Fitz? Who's Peter Fitz?" And then the punchline is, "Anybody's Peter Fitz if you push hard enough," or something like
Yeah,
that.
I do not understand what that means. So then they dubbed over Seymour Butts,
so it'd be,
which is a better joke.
Which also, it would be more appropriate instead of putting your dick in someone's ass.
Yeah, is that what that's supposed to mean?
I think so. I mean, a Peter, that's got to be a
Peter
dick.
Fitz? Yeah. But that's why they dubbed it over. So.
And the next moment is up there on my favorite moments.
Yes.
That's where Tony gets in close and whispers, You picked the wrong man to mess with.
Yeah, he's talking to a child.
He's whispering so hard.
Like he's so
Yeah,
mad.
just cut the audio into this moment if you can.
You picked the wrong man to mess with.
And then the next part that we had to rewind.
Well, no, then he goes something else, and then, "Oh, you're a comedian."
Oh yeah,
I
because
like
he
it.
snaps and he starts laughing.
I like comedians. Perhaps I can book you on a tour. And that was his hard line.
And I was like, what does that mean? And then all of a sudden there's a freeze frame on Joey Diaz and then a white fade into his face and then to white.
To a little circle, which is how you're going to end this episode, is on us.
Yeah. And then it goes to white and then it cuts to his bed empty and they go, he's gone. They killed him. That's what, dude, I was like, so I was had a few beers and maybe it was a little high when I watched this. So I was like, I was like, what was that transition?
Well, because I missed it because I was taking notes because I liked the quote so much.
Yeah,
and
but
then
I was
he
also like, what was that transition? That was so weird. So we rewind it, and then it's like they killed him. Because he's
dead.
gone.
Yeah, he's gone. And then we get I love that we get all the rumors, the rumor mills of
about
like,
what's actually going on.
He had to spend the night at a bus stop because he got kicked out, and then the cook is just like, he's dead.
Yeah, the cook is smoking a cigarette. I love how like camp cooks are just pieces of shit.
Yeah, they're insane people.
Yeah, but he's just like, yeah, he's dead. Like telling kids this.
Because also in this moment, we get the main character writing to his grandma, and I love whenever it feels like a Civil War writing.
That's what it is, yeah. Because it's like you get shots of him writing, and then it's voiceover with stuff that's actually
Where I
happening.
always feel like those always start with like, the prairie. Or like something stupid
Dear
like
grandma. Camp is now what I thought it was.
that. Yeah. And this is also the moment where, speaking of murder, they murder the fucking Blob, which every time I see this, I get so sad.
Dude, it is insane. They stab it and then
With a
just
spear. Because it's Lars stabbing
yeah,
it.
with a
isn't it?
giant spear, and you just see air. Which we'll talk about this later, but
Yeah.
I have questions about that.
What?
Because they bring it back.
Oh, right, yeah.
Spoiler
They
alert,
revive the Blob,
which
yeah.
I don't get how. But they stab it, and that was so sad.
And we just keep realizing how insane Tony
yeah.
is. Because also, a viewer brought this up in his notes, which I had not remembered. This is not why we chose this film, is that Tony's a fucking freak. Tony does some freak show shit.
Yeah, this
some
is
stuff that Robert and I have done. Where I've never done that quite like this, but there's a shot of Tony laying on a bed of nails
Yeah.
with an ice block, and we get the great quote of "Do it to it, Lars."
And then Lars hits the ice block on
With
his
his
stomach.
sledgehammer.
Yeah. But then there's more freak show shit that he does, and I'm just like, so Taylor plays one of the camp counselors,
Yeah.
and you're Tony.
I would love to be Tony.
100% you're Tony.
I wish I looked like Tony. That head of hair.
I wonder, was that a wig? Was that a wig?
I don't know,
Because it looked
but
ridiculous.
Ben Stiller has strong ass
Yeah,
hair.
but I just loved like every time he shook his head, like his hair would wiggle.
Oh, yeah, though. My next note is that we get this might still all be in the letter. I think it is.
Yeah, it's a long scene with the
Yeah.
letter.
But we also get the camp MVP doing drive-by insults on a boat.
Yeah. Well, and then also later on,
They graffiti.
They destroy. So it's like they do that every year too.
I don't know. Because like the old camp counselor seems so nice.
And then he just put on like janitorial duty.
Yeah.
Where he's like cleaning up spray paint, raking leaves, and then he gets called to like clean up like a dirty bathroom.
Yeah.
Bring a mop and a bucket.
Yeah, the counselor who actually knows everything.
Which sucks because I feel so bad for him because he's like so nice and he loves camp so much, but he just gets punished.
Then we also here get the scene of the fat kids chasing a cow.
Oh yeah, because they're so hungry.
God, which that scene seems a bit much.
Yeah, because they don't actually show what happens, but it's like, oh, so you're gonna kill the cow?
Also, like, are fat kids? They're not that desperate,
Because it's,
right?
I mean, at this point, they were not feeding him.
Right? Yeah, they're getting less and less.
And they got rid of, all their snacks. And
they're after a cow.
well, and then also is it the next scene where they find a guy they got a hamburger?
No, that's
Oh,
later
that's
on. I have that
later.
later, yeah. But so the next scene is this dance.
Oh, the awkward dance.
Yeah, which it's really a shame that Josh or Joey Diaz wasn't here because he probably can talk to women.
Yeah, he probably would have loved
I bet
it.
he really can
I
talk
bet
to women.
that scene would have been great. But Tony thought this would be a great punishment to embarrass the fat kids
Because also
by bringing over another camp.
of hot young girls, which also all of them are way older.
Yes, all of
than
them
these.
are way older than the
Yeah,
kid.
they're definitely not 12.
Yeah. So then it's like awkward because they don't know how to talk to women. And I do love early on that even the camp counselor dude doesn't know how to talk to women
Right,
either.
yeah.
So that's just fat people don't know how to talk to
I
women.
guess, yeah.
Like, that's another joke.
They're so removed from society.
They're so
Yeah.
self-conscious about their weight that they can't. It's wild.
But also, we get a scene of a few of the girls, and they make some bulimic jokes.
Yeah, that's what I was like, Jesus
That
Christ.
was a lot.
Because I think they were like maybe talking about how fat they were.
And then another girl chimes in, why don't you teach them how to throw up after every meal like you?
Yeah, I was just like, Jesus Christ, you're not allowed to say that. But I guess like kids are mean.
No, kids are the worst.
But Judd Apatow wrote that line.
He sure did, bud.
For a kid to say.
But now we get a true hero.
Yeah, Tim.
Tim, camp counselor. He dances like a goddamn madman.
He
but I
literally goes,
love him.
I'm going to save this dance. And then just starts, which I pictured Taylor dancing like this.
That's fair.
If Taylor's trying to save a dance, he would dance like this. And it was fantastic, dude. He's
But
like,
also-
he's throwing arms, he's sweating.
I don't think that would get me to want to dance because his ideas were like, they'll see how much fun I'm having and then they'll
By
join
himself.
in. I'm like, that doesn't look like fun. And also, how long will you do that till you give
He
up?
kept going. He went for a while.
Yeah,
Everyone's
'cause-
staring at him.
well, 'cause-
and then Pat comes in.
And then, but Pat comes in and then leaves and then comes
And then
back.
comes
He's
back.
like, all right, fuck it.
And then the nurse is like, oh, he's smiling at him. Like,
Yeah.
he likes the kids.
Well, also, the nurse enjoys, what's his name again? Pat.
Yeah. But we don't know what's going on. We know that Pat has a crush on the nurse.
But also, she's.
And then she's nice.
She seems like not flirty, but not.
No, she just seems nice.
She likes talking to him at least.
Yeah, it's just she seems nice. So then they start dancing, and then the fat kids start dancing, and then that
And then
gets
the girls get brought in. But also, not only do the girls get brought in, they all partner up.
Yes, dude. So it is fantastic. There's a scene where like I think the British dude was like, "Will you have this dance?" and then they dance, and they're like holding each other. And I'm
would be
like,
a pleasure.
dude, this is. I was so happy at this moment
Well, but
because I was
also-
like, yes.
Also, I'm thinking, me as a 12-year-old, no matter how much fun I'm having at dance, I'm not dancing with a fucking girl.
They all did though,
They all partnered up.
and that's
and
fantastic.
dance like madmen with these women. Yeah.
Yeah, with two adults also dancing like Mad Men.
And then once everyone's having fun, boom, lights come on, Tony enters, ruined. But
Cut the dance.
if you rewatch
This is
it,
aw-
watch all the kids in the background, because one of the kids is like, I would say a real, not even a peg, slightly open mouth, a real kiss
Yes, dude.
with a girl. And it
Because-
is soft and it is nice and it is
fantastic.
sweet.
It's in the background, but they do show it. It's like a girl that he was dancing with close, because they were like hugging, dancing,
Well, like he actually had like arms
arms
on
around,
hips,
and
yeah.
then like when the dance was over, and
They
people,
do a real kiss.
when people were leaving, people
Yeah.
were walking past him. They do a real like romantic, and I was like, yes, you kissed the girl,
But,
we don't know who the girl is, and we never see her again.
No,
and
and
also
the-
that character wasn't a main character,
And also, no one will believe him.
yeah, that's
I kissed a girl at camp.
At
yeah,
fat
right.
camp, sure you did. Yeah, your man. All the jokes next year at school. You thought you had a great summer, and then everyone just makes
No
fun
one
of
believes
you.
you. Yeah.
But that dude, I was like, I felt so good until Tony came in.
Yeah.
and I was like, God damn it, you piece of
Well,
shit!
because he
Why do
wanted
you
it
gotta
to be.
ruin it?
He wanted it to be a punishment.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be an embarrassment because he knew they wouldn't dance. But
Yeah.
then
They danced.
I do like Tim in this scene because he has like the weirdest lines. He just like he walks by one time and he's like, "Well, that's not good." Or something
No,
like-
he goes, "This bites."
Yeah,
That's what he's
he
doing.
goes,
Yeah.
This bites.
But also,
that's
he
what
has
Taylor-
to. He
that's
has to
what-
throw his hair when he says it.
That's what Taylor would do.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very. Yeah, I think this is the moment where you're like, "That's Taylor."
Yeah, 100%.
This bites. Yeah.
And then he keeps walking.
But our next scene is that you see the demolished go-karts.
Oh,
and our
so
main
sad.
boy is looking at him just so disparaged. And then Pat comes up, and it turns out that this kid has somehow a tragic backstory revolving go-karts.
Well, not even. He just.
Well, no, he's having a real moment. And it turns out go-karts could have fixed him because he goes, "I'm so slow, and they're so fast." Just
Yeah,
love,
dude. I love that he wants to be fast.
yeah.
And he says in this scene, I want to fly. I want to know what it feels like to fly.
And he's got the wings on him still.
Yeah,
and
'cause
he's
he's
still our
captain.
captain. Just
But it's like so sad. It's also really funny if you think about it because he's talking about how I've always loved go-karts, but I've never had a chance to drive them.
and like
How would you, at 11 years old, how do you always love go-karts if you've never driven them?
they're so fast and I'm so slow. But then we get probably the sweetest moment. Like
Yeah, this
one
is
of the most ridiculously sweetest moments I've seen.
It's like so nice, dude.
And where it's Pat, he grabs the back of the go-kart and starts pushing our captain around the track, where that's got to be so fucking hard.
Dude, yeah, because you're pushing a person on a cart that doesn't have a motor.
Up hills and stuff,
around
yeah.
corners and
Like-
stuff. And Pat is a fat man.
Yeah,
you know?
that's like,
but he pushes him for a long time.
they must have, like,
That would exhaust me.
well, no, like pushing a sled is so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like a go-kart's, I mean, like, yeah, it rolls, but still, that's got to
a
be
lot of
so
weight.
much. I mean, pushing a lawnmower hard, like without that doesn't have an automatic thing. It's a workout, let alone a
sucks.
child in it
and
on
then
a
going around
track.
corners and running.
So I wonder if there was like a slight motor in it or something just to keep it rolling or something.
Yeah, or someone was
because
pulling
he
it.
is running.
He's pushing as fast as he
Yeah,
can.
'cause
And
we
the
get
guy,
a full shot of him fucking
and
sprinting
the guy
up.
is like, the kid is like, oh yes, I'm going fast. And then the nurse somehow sees it.
Yeah,
And she
it's
just smiles. She goes, oh, he could raise my kids. That's what she's thinking in her mind. I'm pretty sure.
Probably, yeah. And now we get Josh's return.
Yes, Josh comes back, and
I
I was like,
love his return though, where he is brainwashed zombie.
at first I was like, he's doing a bit, but then the bit went on
It
too
went way
long.
too
So then
long,
I was
yeah.
like, did they fuck him up?
Because also I was like, I don't quite remember it. That'd be awesome if he was that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, where they never explained, but they like ruined him.
That'd be so funny.
No, but he was just doing a bit, and he's like, yeah, I'm back, boys. He seems like he'd be such a fun friend.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, little Joey Diaz running around.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
like he's like, there would be no quiet moments at all with him.
No, or
around.
no boring moments
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
But also that he's like this kind of like hardcore, but then he's also like he's the one who brings like salutes the captain. Like they're all so fucking nice and
They
positive.
are.
Yeah, there's not a mean kid at camp.
Because they're all used to being bullied. So why
Yeah,
would, you know what I
that's
mean?
true. But,
The
like,
only
I-
mean kids are the people from other camps.
I feel like he's not a mean kid, or I feel like he doesn't get bullied at his school.
yeah,
he's too cool.
Yeah, but he's fat.
Yeah, but he's also like,
Yeah, that's true. He's wearing the jumpsuits.
yeah, and he's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sure if he did get bullied, fucking like adult mobsters would come
Right,
out and just beat the shit out
backhand him,
of beat
yeah.
the shit out of a kid.
Now we get maybe one of my favorite moments with Tony where he's on a jog in the morning and he runs past Pat who's doing yard work, and Tony like says something to him, picks up a log, does a few
Yeah.
benches with it, and then keeps running.
Dude, Ben Stiller is jacked in this movie.
Yes.
like there are scenes like he's
Later on, he does Tai Chi, and it is
no, but there are
insane.
scenes where I'm like, oh, you're in shape, but then when you see like his arm,
Or
you're
when
just
he's
like
shirtless.
You're just like, holy fuck!
I hope he did
you look
that.
like a pro wrestler.
I hope he did that for this movie.
Yeah,
He's
just-
like this Disney movie.
This would be so
Yeah.
funny if I get jacked for this. But he's going on a run, and then the kids are like, "This will be a great idea. Let's break into Tony's house
Yeah.
to try and find candy." Like,
Right, yeah, that's
their
what they're
plan.
looking for their
They're
stash.
just looking for candy.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But what they find is their letters written home, which is I love that.
So sad, dude.
It's
so
insane.
All the letters he doesn't send out.
Yeah, we get back and forth of Tony jogging and them sneaking around, but now Tony's on his way back.
Yeah, and they're all in the house.
And the kid who's a lookout does a horrible job. So
He
just like
starts
smacking
hitting,
stuff.
hitting,
Yeah.
hitting the gutter.
And he's like running, trying to jump up the window.
He's coming. But also, if you're a lookout and someone's on a trail, you know.
How you can like?
There's no way you-
when he's coming, he's here.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
already here.
Yeah,
Like, you're fucked.
you don't have walkie-talkies to see like when he's on his way back.
No, you're ruined.
But luckily, Tony wastes time. He does this insane cat stretch.
Dude, that is, and then is that when he does the tongue out? Yeah, what? Dude, he's like, I loved Ben Stiller in this movie so much because he just went in full bore, 100%
He went
into the
all
character.
out, yeah.
Dude, just a psychopath.
I think we've all forgotten how good Ben Stiller is
Yeah, I love him.
because he hasn't been. I don't know if he's been anything incredible in a while.
I think
He's had some more serious roles, but like
isn't there. I think he directed. I don't think he's in it, but I think
he's been directing a lot
I think
of good
he directed
shit.
Severance or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
and
that is
that
his
really
project,
good
yeah.
show.
Like, I think he's been doing like really good shit, but I don't think we see him as like the comedic genius
No, he's
that
not.
he
He's
was
not
for
an
a
actor. In
long
it. Yeah,
time.
because he was in it so many other things.
I
Meet
do
the
remember.
Parents.
I do remember in Meet the Parents. There's a scene where he's wearing a Speedo and he is insanely muscular. Like, it's weird. It's like.
So maybe he was just always.
He must have been just a fitness dude for a lot.
Well, I mean, he's always
also
tiny.
trying to be an actor too. Yeah.
And I really like The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. That's pretty
Yeah.
good. That's a serious movie.
Well, yeah.
And then, yeah, he's in a lot of Night at the Museum.
Right, those are good fucking.
they're
I think
good
he
movies.
helped write some of those too later on.
Yeah,
too.
Night at the Museum. I forgot about that movie. That movie's great.
Those are one of my sick movies.
Whoa, that's a good.
It's
sick
a good
movie.
one. Yeah.
You own it?
No, Disney Plus.
What?
You don't have to own anything anymore.
I do.
But now we have the kids are trying. They know he's coming, and so they're pushing the British kid out the window. Why the fuck they bring that kid? He's not helpful with really anything until later on, I guess, because he's smart. But then they almost get caught because he farts in the other kid's face, and Tony smells it.
Before that though, they're leaving and they're like, "Oh, we're missing him," and he's in the kitchen like eating
right.
syrup or something.
Yeah.
Like just pouring syrup all over his face, and he's like, "Sorry," because that's how hungry he is. But then he's pushing out the window and just farts in this kid's face, which is so funny, dude.
Yeah.
But then when Ben starts walking around the house,
Yeah, he just smells it.
well, at first he's like he hears the fart,
Right.
and
He's
then he's
like,
walking
"That
around
wasn't me."
smelling it. But they get out free.
Well, he checks outside and they all hide behind
the
a-
window shot is fantastic. So
I
they're
love
all
that
running
scene.
and hide behind trees, and you just see Ben Stiller's face. And then as soon as he comes, they run.
all run,
But how
yeah.
did they perfectly get like that's
They must have practiced. Yeah.
that's or there was like mirrors or something, but
Sure.
they perfectly hid behind the trees.
Yep.
And then that was one of the best shots of the film from a cinematography thing.
Yeah, that's fair. But now it's time for the weigh-ins.
Oh yes, this is when he snaps.
Yep. And Tony's not happy. And I have this quote down. Can't keep their little piggy snouts shut. Is how he
Yeah.
views
Dude,
them.
this is what-
Because
this-
all the kids have gained weight.
Yeah, this is when I'm like, okay, this movie's might be a little problem because you can't be saying that.
And this is when we meet little Tony, where Tony walks away because this probably was his coping mechanism as a kid.
Yeah,
'Cause all he
Dude,
had
this
was
is-
himself.
When this was happening, I was like, what is going on?
This is the moment where if I was a kid at that camp, I would have gone to another adult and been like, "Hey, you obviously see
But the adults are also there.
Yeah,
Like,
but as in this can't.
it's also insane
he
that
can't
the
be in
adults,
charge of us.
the other adults are just like, I guess we got to deal with him.
Well, no, they are saying that like we've contacted people. They're trying to get help,
but
yeah.
there's no hard evidence. That's what they said. But
Right, yeah.
Tony walks away, but he's still in front of everybody and just starts talking to himself.
and it's insane
Because he's
But,
like, little Tony.
and the kids are like, cool, but I'm like, no, that's a serious like.
No,
you're gonna die.
He's having a fucking meltdown.
Yes.
and his way to get out of it is to talk to himself, which is so funny.
Yeah, but now he's like, we're doing a 20-mile hike, which we can't do.
Jesus
like, I don't know
Christ.
what 20-mile hike
That would take all day.
That'd take. Yeah, like
all day.
I don't even know how many hours, especially
And-
depending on
and
what
they're-
the hike
and they
is.
all
yeah.
have giant gear, giant backpacks.
But this is where Pat challenges Tony, and it does not go well.
oh yeah, he confronts him. Yeah.
And Tony just like threatens him and puts him in his place, and it does not go well for Pat.
And Pat gets so sad.
Well, and then now we're by like the lake or whatever,
And Pat's just sitting there alone.
and our captain shows up, and Pat has. I get what they're trying to do, but Pat has this insane heart to heart with this kid about how Pat feels like a failure and he can't do anything right, and he's just a loser who's wasted his life. And we were all just like, "That's an 11-year-old child you're throwing this on."
Yeah, dude. Pat
who's
is
at this camp to improve himself.
so. Pat said he's been. So I did some math.
Okay.
Probably. I'm guessing he's like 35 by the way he looks. So he's
Sure.
talking to this 11-year-old. But he says he started going to the camp when he was like 10.
Well, all right. So I have the number. Pat has been there for 18
yeah,
years.
because he says it at the end of the. So that means he's only 28. But he's definitely not 28 years old. He's definitely not 28.
That's true. So
yeah, because
Pat looks like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it doesn't look like a 28, that sucks.
But also, if I'm in a movie, I don't know if I look 28.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking
People
like,
also
this is-
looked older back in the day.
This
too.
is style. But I'm like, this is a fully grown adult talking to an 11-year-old, and the 11-year-old is comforting him and gets him to feel better.
while this child is being tortured. Like,
Yeah,
Pat
while
can,
this child's going through the most traumatic thing of his life,
Pat can leave and come back.
Pat can also talk to the other adults.
Pat can drive a car. He can get out.
Yeah.
This
These kids are
child
stuck.
is captive at this camp.
And he's just so sad by the lake.
And also, the kid knows that the letters aren't getting sent out. Like, he is stuck.
And he goes, "No, you're just gonna keep pushing ahead."
Yeah, you need to take care
I
of
understand
me.
what they were doing.
Yes.
like it was a heartfelt moment, and I did like the bonding experience. But I was
But
like,
it's
"This is
insane.
weird as fuck, dude. What is going on?"
Don't do this to a
because
child.
I did like, but it was kind of real reversal because early in the film, he helped him.
He's supposed to help him. He's a camp
Yeah,
counselor.
that's what a camp counselor is for. You're not supposed to put your problems on a kid. but I did. I will say on top of that, I did like it.
Yes.
I did enjoy
But
it.
also, it was nice to enjoy the insanity of that,
Yes.
of how irresponsible Pat kind of is. But now we're on the 20-mile hike, and we see the backpacks these kids are wearing. So without a doubt, I couldn't do a hike with that much gear. Why do they sleep? Are they going to sleep out there?
And also, Ben Stiller has so much. Dude, if there's a shot where you see his back and he has like 40 bungee cords just hanging. Why are they hanging off the back? Like, it's ridiculous.
But on this hike, all the kids are trying to bat bugs away, and Ben Stiller's like, "Good, that's an exercise too."
Yeah.
And then another kid just falls into a tree.
Yeah, because
and Ben Stiller's just leave him. He's weak. So he's gonna. This kid will die.
You're gonna leave a kid in the forest that paid to be at camp? That's insane. And then because they're so tired, they're falling asleep.
Yeah.
While hiking, and a kid almost like steps off a bridge, and the guy's like,
No, not off a bridge. Into this random hole.
"Oh, like a hole, yeah," because like the bridge is like broken,
Right, yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so he wakes him up, and they're just doing this hike, and it's so, dude, this is wild.
Yeah.
How big is this camp that you have all this?
Yeah,
like,
how much
acreage?
woods do you have around it?
It's insane.
But here's where we cut to Ben Stiller doing Tai Chi.
Tai Chi.
And he's insanely jacked.
I did like the cinematography of this shot with the
Yeah.
sun behind him. Beautiful.
Well, also I like that they played a joke with that, where so the sun's behind him, so he's like kind of darkened, and he looks incredible, and it's peaceful. He's on a cliffside,
Yeah.
And then cut to the kids, and none of the kids can see. Like they're all like shielding their eyes from the sun because
trying
Ben
to-
Stiller wanted to do this.
trying
there.
to do the moves that they can't do, and he's just like, "Find your inner peace." Like,
and then I,
so stupid.
I can't remember what a kid says to cause this, but then Ben Stiller snaps again.
Yeah.
And he jumps on a tree log that's hanging. Oh, because also I know these kids are like, "Can we just push him off?" And they're like, "Nah, too messy."
Dude, yeah. So he jumps. I think he was like, "This isn't fun," and he goes, "Oh, you
You
want to
want
have
some fun?
You
You
want some
wanna play
fun?"
again? Yeah.
And then he jumps on this log. On this tree
It
branch,
does a
that is-
muscle up.
That is like he has to jump off the cliff to get to it, and then he's like doing a muscle up and swinging,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, you want fun? Come join me."
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, you're a psycho.
And like the kids like
if you slip, you're dead.
and the kids like kind of accept this, but then they, instead of being like, I guess they are saying like we need to do something,
Yeah.
but then it cuts to him, he's meditating, and the kids are being loud and arguing about shit. And then he comes over and he's like, "What's the issue?" And the kids are like, "We realize we do need to better ourselves. But the
Yeah.
issue is we've had in this argument, you can't do a sit-up blindfolded or where you can't see and hear." He's like,
Yeah.
let me teach, let Uncle Tony show you something.
At first, I was like, what's going on
I
here?
remembered this scene.
Yeah, this scene is so funny.
Because also I've seen this done before, never in person, but in other things.
Okay. I wonder if it started in this.
I don't know.
In 95,
or if this is an old prank or something where
is funny.
you do a blindfolded sit up, but here Josh or Joey Diaz is pulled his pants down, which also I imagine dick and balls out
Yeah.
because it's full ass out, and they're tricking Ben Stiller into putting his face in this kid's ass.
Into a kid's ass.
which I love. I
Yeah,
love
it's
this.
funny, but also that's weird as fuck. But then, and I love the way that when Ben Stiller snaps, he like karate chops.
That's
his
my
kid's-
next note. Is he karate chops him twice as
right in
he's
the
coming
legs,
up? Yeah.
right in the legs. So then he just stumbles.
And then they play this whole thing out because also I'm like, what are you gonna do now? Like he's gonna catch you because
Yeah.
Josh runs, but he runs and he fakes a leg grab in front of this pile of leaves. Ben Stiller falls into a fucking hole.
Where, dude? My thing was like, where did the hole come from?
Well, because originally I thought this was the hole that the kid almost fell in
no,
earlier.
it's not.
because
It's
this
not.
hole is covered.
So they had this. When did they dig this hole?
Who dug this
And
hole?
how many
that kid
miles?
would have lost
And
some
how
weight.
many miles out of camp was this?
Right.
Exactly.
Good point.
And
Yeah.
this hole was deep as fuck. But Ben Stiller falls in it, and it was like, Jesus Christ! You just caught a grown man.
Yep.
In a pit.
But somehow their next move, and they don't explain this because it'd be impossible, how they get him out of the hole.
Yeah.
Because now he's tied up behind an electric fence.
They electrify the fence with a bug zapper, which I didn't realize at first until later.
Yeah.
And I was just like, Jesus
No,
Christ.
these kids are fucking hardcore.
Yeah, but how did they get him from the hole to this jail
There's
cell?
no way they could
A
have.
bunch of 11-year-old fat kids.
Also, he could have gotten out of the hole.
Yeah.
This man is insanely muscular. He could have
done like it. Well, because there's a few times where he just does flips.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. He does a lot of flips.
So it's
yeah.
like he could have just flipped out of there.
Oh, right. Yeah. Because that's a part of when he gets off the tree. You don't see it. You just hear flips.
Yeah, you hear the
and he appears in play.
That's so fucking dumb, dude.
And then my next note is that they also somehow, so now they get all the their camp counselors a part of this.
Yeah, because they're like, we got to show you something.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Jesus Christ.
You can't
And
capture a human.
Pat's gonna set him free until Tony threatens to kick him in the nuts. And then he's like, fuck it, you're staying here.
Yeah, he's like, I was going to help you, but...
Which, all right, now you're just going to prison then.
Yeah. How can you get away with capturing a human? And how did a bunch of 11-year-olds come up with this plan?
Yeah, not only do they capture one human, they now somehow get all the other camp counselors tied to a tree, which I
Yes,
do love
Lars
this
and
with
everything,
Lars,
yeah.
where they tear open his shirt, spread honey on him, and then they cut away, or they leave and come back to Lars screaming because a deer's eating close to him.
Which, it's they laugh at him, but also...
I was thinking about this. I would be terrified.
I'd be terrified
if
too.
I could not move my arms and legs, and there was not a fully grown deer, but a deer nonetheless in front of me. That thing could still fuck with me.
Yeah, well, and also you can't move at all,
I would
and,
be
and you have honey on your chest.
Yeah. Also, like, if a raccoon climbed or got close to me, or if a squirrel was like climbed up me, I would lose my mind.
Yeah, because I'd be like, I can't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know what this animal's
sucks.
gonna do.
That's
Yeah.
terrifying. But they come back and look at the deer and laugh and then leave him.
Not only that, a kid punches Lars in the dick.
Yes. So on top of that, he
One
just
of the
gets...
children walks up and just punches
you
him
think,
straight in the dick.
you're like, oh, he's gonna let him out. No, he's just right in the dick.
I thought he was gonna do something. I didn't think he was gonna punch him in the dick.
And you're stuck to a tree.
I would be then have thrown up.
Yeah, I would have just been crying, dude. That's so mean. I don't know what's worse, that or being stuck in an electric fence jail.
I would rather be in the jail
Yeah,
1,000 than
Because they also show that they're feeding him.
yeah, tied to a tree outside, way worse than being behind an
Yeah, it's
electric
like you're
fence.
being sacrificed.
Because later on, Tony's not tied up.
Yeah, that's true. He's just in there.
He's loose in there. He just doesn't want to be electrified. But now it's fucking party time.
Yes, it's party time.
The
'cause
kids are back in control.
This is a great. This scene made me so happy.
God. But also, I wonder if it's actually the food that they say it is, or if it's like something else where they're pouring chocolate syrup
Dude,
just all over themselves.
It is disgusting.
Because really, they're not even like eating food; they're eating toppings.
Yeah.
the
like
least
one
healthy
kid's
shit.
covered in marshmallows.
Yeah, ugh, and like how sticky. And also, they showed Tony, or is that the camp counselor?
Tim
fully relapsed because he used to be a fat kid.
Which is so funny. So these guys are partying hardcore,
Yeah.
but with sugar
Around a giant fire.
So having a massive party, which looks fun as hell, but then
It reminds me a lot of Jimmy Neutron when all the parents disappear. The movie Jimmy Neutron.
Oh yes, and then you just go out
but
of
then
control.
they all get tummy aches,
Yeah.
and they all pass out this way.
Which is so funny. So it's like kind of like a joke of like an alcohol party.
Yeah.
But it's sugar because they're all passed out on the lawn, just like hung over. But it's from sugar. But it's like I've had sugar hangovers before.
They're
suck,
real, yeah.
yeah.
And this is also the moment where they realize that Lars, I don't know what paperwork they found for this, but Lars needs to work or he'll be deported.
Yeah, which is a wild thing to say. It's like you can either be with us or get deported.
And he chooses fat camp because also he is in the food eating montage.
But like. That's insane that he came to work for this guy.
Yeah, from Europe.
Yeah. And
like-
if he's not working, he gets deported.
Which
you
also-
gonna include that.
He'll be deported to like Germany. That's fine.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll just go home.
That's
unless
just-
he wants to be here so bad to work at this fat camp.
He comes around, dude. I love
Oh
him.
yeah, no. Lars is now he is on 1,000% immediately.
The immediate
No,
shift. He's just part of the team.
Yeah. He went a little bit more discotheque, little less Nazi.
Yeah. I think all the Nazis gone at this point.
Yeah, he's full discotheque.
Full discotheque,
German,
and he
yeah.
embraces it, dude. He's fun. He's fun Lars now.
But this is also a great moment when they all wake up. They're all hungover, covered in sugar, which also they would be covered in ants.
No, dude, it was they're shirtless, a bunch of shirtless fat 11-year-olds covered in syrup, fucking sticky. Yeah, they would wake up. It'd be disgusting.
That'd be a nightmare.
God,
But I love.
I'm sure it'd be fun as fuck though to do it.
Sure, yeah. But I love this moment where Pat's like, I let you guys go crazy for one night. Now you see, you feel like shit. Let's take responsibility.
See, this is when I was like, oh, I get what you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's also like,
would this work? These kids have been tortured for a month or whatever.
but also I'm like, okay, so now we're going back to it's time to lose weight again.
But
like,
yeah, I wonder what the actual like diets and stuff are in this
because
point.
it's like, but it's time to lose weight, but on your terms. Like,
Which
it's like,
that is probably the only way they could realistically lose weight is if they did it for themselves.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of talked about that too.
but it's also,
It's never worked for him. either.
He's fat too, and it also just felt weird. I was like, oh man, let's let him have
Okay,
fun.
yeah.
But they still have fun though.
Yeah.
So and they're actually eating now.
Well, and like they're like
And they're doing fun things, but it's exercise.
Yeah,
so I
'cause
get it. It's
also,
I get
we
it.
did miss a big one, maybe the best quotes because I didn't write down the exact moment, but it's during the torture. But it's attention campers. Lunch has been canceled due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
Yes.
I love due to lack of hustle.
And
so
I love that he
much.
just goes, deal with it. Yeah, that's early on in the movie. That's like, I think that happens like when he's writing the note to his grandma.
Yeah, probably.
Which is insane.
But now it's Parents' Day.
Yes, which they hint at earlier at their check-in because he's like, "Oh, Parents' Day is coming up, and I
Yeah.
want you to be skinny." and they're not.
No.
Like Jeffrey Tambor comes in
It's
and he's
like, what are we? He hasn't lost a pound. What are we
"What
paying, this for?
He seems like a typical asshole dad,
Yeah.
which is like sucks, but that's
But
real.
also, I feel like that's usually the character he plays too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But he had no humor about him this time.
No.
Like, and also he just looked like I didn't like the way he looked.
Right,
The
yeah,
Dr.
'cause
Phil lookalike motherfucker.
Yeah, he did look like Dr. Phil.
It's that mustache.
And we find out how they've been using the video camera that the Happy Gilmore guy has been videotaping this
Yeah.
whole time.
So they made an infomercial.
Camp Hell.
Dude,
Which, can you imagine being a parent and then seeing that shit, that this is what we've been through in the kid? But also they blame the parents, but the parents were like, we sent you to Camp Hope.
Yeah,
we
we-
watched the same video you did.
And also, we had no idea because no letters got out.
yeah, well, I mean, they did call earlier, but also the kids.
Oh, yeah, he does call his dad, and his dad's like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah,
You'll-
it's supposed to be hard. And I get that too. They didn't realize that this is what is happening.
It's so fucked up.
And while we're watching the Camp Hell video, we cut back between Tony and his cage where he has undone the electric fence somehow.
Yeah, with a fork and a napkin, he
Yeah.
unplugs it, and then he takes some aluminum foil and makes a fake Hershey's Kiss.
And I love the little, because you pointed this out,
Yes.
it's the fat British kid, because probably his parents can't come.
Yeah, I was like, the guy who's watching it was the British guy, and it's like, oh, your parents couldn't come because they're from
So
Europe.
fun. So that means they sent this kid from Europe to Camp Hope to
Yeah.
lose some weight.
They sent him overseas to lose weight, and then they couldn't afford to just come visit him on Parents' Day.
Absolutely
So all
not.
these parents flew from across the country for one day.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's what I just realized that in my head too. But it's so funny because he tries. Tony's trying to trick this guy with that. But also, I'm like, dude, be smart. He's been in the jail cell. Where the fuck did he get a candy?
Also, you have candy.
Yeah, you have all the candy you want,
But nope, the little fat boy can't resist, apparently.
and then just puts him into like a chokehold.
yeah. And he escapes.
Jesus.
And also, so now we're back in the camp,
Like the mess hall.
lunch- Yeah,
Yeah,
mess hall. That's
mess
the
hall,
word.
yeah.
And all the parents are freaking out, like, I'm so sorry this happened. And then Tony appears in the.
He's in the window. He climbed
20 feet up.
He scaled the building and is sitting in the window, and he just starts applauding, and then more flips.
Yeah, I think he like grabs on a chandelier or something
And
crazy like that.
flips.
And then while he jumps on the table and while he's doing his big speech, he starts smashing glasses and then walking across them.
Barefoot while he's delivering this like evil speech.
Which, by the way, I can walk on broken glass. I can't do what he's doing, which
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah, because he's pint glasses, pitchers, like
Yeah, and
just
then walking across it, you hear the crunch, and
oh,
he's
it's fu-
barefoot.
You're just like, this guy is psycho.
And then And then he gets punched by Jeffrey Tambor for like mouthing off.
Yeah, which is insane because I'm like, finally.
Yeah.
Finally someone put it. Dude, I do like that his dad just goes, boom, and just knocks him out.
And he's like, I should have written down the quote, but he's just like, I don't think this is what's going to happen. Like, he's very like, that's not happening now.
Yeah, it's like, why would we let you continue
and
to
Tony goes down.
Why would we continue to do this? And then it cuts to he's getting taken away.
No, that is
Oh, okay.
not what cuts to, because Tony's not down for the count. He pops back out and does another insane thing where he starts doing 10 back handsprings down the mess hall.
Oh yeah, down the aisle. Yeah.
Also, remember, there's glass in his feet
So,
too.
boom, boom. And so now it's getting on his hands.
Yeah, and then he slips and knocks himself out.
Dude, this is so funny because it's the straight on shot of him doing the backflip, and then it cuts to him slipping, which is one of the worst edits and cuts in
And then
cinema.
slams into the
in
wall.
cinema, because I'm like, there was no.
Obviously, he wasn't doing
it was
the
a
back
stunt
handspring.
double, and then just you slipping, and it was such a bad cut. But I was just like, "What the fuck? How'd you slip? How did you do 10 in a row and then slip?"
Because also, this is the moment where now all the parents are like, "We did it, we got him." But this guy just knocks himself out.
They didn't do shit. He did it himself.
And then we cut to Papa Perkis, who is just old Ben Stiller.
Dude, yeah, this blows my mind. So yeah, old Ben Stiller.
Is playing, and I like that he calls himself Papa Perkis.
Papa Perkis, because Papa Perkis has money from selling lights.
Yeah,
That's what he, because when late in the beginning of the movie, that's how he introduced. He's like, and my dad graciously donated these lights.
Yeah,
And
these
it's just a
bright lights,
chandelier.
they're great.
But it's just, he's just like a businessman. But it's obviously Ben Stiller, and it's so funny that it's Ben Stiller playing his dad. But
when Ben Stiller's dad is
in the movie. That's
Yeah.
so funny. And then there's a couple shots of Tony in the car watching his dad. Just,
He rolls down the window a little bit.
Yeah, just like,
Because this is the moment where we find out where he's like, because he's going to shut down the camp and he's going to refund everybody, I think. And then all the kids are sad. He's like, all right, well, who's been here the longest? We find out that Pat's been there for 18 years.
yeah, which means he's 28, but he's not.
Yeah, he's like,
there's no way that guy's 28.
because he's got to be like 30 max. But
Yeah.
also, he's been there 10 years. When did he switch from counselor or from camp kid to counselor?
I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, but he's always been fat.
But now Pat gets the camp.
Yep, he's in charge.
And everything is great. They rejuvenate the blob somehow.
Dude, that's what, when the blob comes back, how do they fix it?
Like,
how do you fix a blob?
Maybe
do you buy a new one?
Maybe Papa Perkis did.
Yeah, maybe
Papa Perkis got
there's
money
no way you could patch a spear hole
through a
in a giant. Yeah,
inflatable. Yeah, it's like a bounce house. You can't.
it'd be, and it would just leak all the time.
I
Yeah.
would imagine so.
I'm guessing they bought a new one.
Yeah, Papa Perkis got money.
Then they start fixing the go karts.
Well, yeah. So this is also the moment where they steal Camp MVP's boat motor.
Boat engine,
And somehow Pat, it must be a genius because he converts it into a go-kart engine.
which is it's an upgraded go kart.
Apparently, yeah, it's the fastest go-kart ever. And now it's time for the Apache Relays.
Dude, this
Which they're named the Apache Relays, and we see Camp MVP. For some reason, they're dressed as Greek.
yeah, they're dressed all in togas.
Yeah,
which
and
I was
like,
like, what's the point
with
of
the Greek
this?
headbands.
And then Camp Hope, or all the
Is-
fat camps, they're all dressed as Indians.
Yeah, they're all in native headdresses.
That's a little problematic.
Which I guess in the 90s, we probably did that a lot.
I mean, we played Cops and Robbers and
Well, Cowboys and Indians.
Cowboys and
Yeah.
Indians, and like all the we sat Indian style.
Yeah, and like I think I made like a headdress out of paper
Yeah, I think
in
I
like
did too. Yeah,
kindergarten. I think we
yeah.
did that a lot more.
But
So-
they're no full garb. Even the counselors are
yeah,
wearing it.
yeah, Fulgar. It's a lot.
Like I was like, why did you all had camp shirts?
Yeah, and also
Why
your
didn't
Camp Hope
And also, but why is the other team dressed as? Why are they wearing togas?
as Romans. Yeah,
Yeah, what is that supposed to be? Yeah,
Because my note is native costumes is a bit much.
it's a bit much. We didn't need that.
I
But
don't think
also,
anyone ever does the noise at
no,
least.
but it.
I wouldn't be surprised
They
if they
never
did.
address it, but it is like one of those '90s things. Like,
yeah,
they just,
and
they
like,
just
well, like they're not going to address it either. Because also, like, if you look at like Adam's Family Values, they dress up as Native American.
It's just what people.
That's what camps did.
Yeah.
Which
Because also it's like nature. and-
that's just what it was back
Yeah,
then.
that's just-
Like we didn't talk about it, and I imagine they don't really do it now.
I hope not.
I don't.
I'm sure sometimes, some
But like,
places.
people get so mad so fast about that too. I bet they don't.
yeah. Well, I don't even know if fat camp's a thing anymore.
I don't know because like weight loss camp isn't the worst idea. like it's not a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Because also, like, I know, like, Tamber's in the beginning, he's like, we got to nip this thing in the butt, which I honestly do understand.
Yeah.
You want your kids to be healthier.
Yeah.
Because also you want them to be,
But
like,
also
active and stuff.
that just means that, oh, I feel as a parent and I can't take control of this, so let me
Right,
send my
yeah,
kid
there's
away.
that too.
Like, I don't want to deal with it, so let me send him away.
That's very true. But also, if it's a positive thing,
yeah, that's
Which
and
he was.
he could grow as a person
yeah, I don't know.
after going through hell and back.
I have no idea, like, if this is problematic or not. But either way, I had fun watching it. But now they announced what the relays is. It's an obstacle course and then Hall of Intelligence, and they end with a go-kart race.
Yeah, it's a wild relay
But
race.
also, it's one race for all of that, which doesn't make
Well, and also
sense.
there's like weird, like there's a rock wall at some part.
Well, that's a part of the obstacle course.
Oh yeah. So it's like, and then they're getting their asses.
Well, yeah, because
kicked.
we start with fat kids running against literally like camp MVP. Like they are athletic.
Yeah. The first thing is like a bag hop.
Yeah.
and the guy keeps dropping his
Yeah,
bag.
kid's not good at it.
And then
they have to like, there's like a zip line part and a rock wall part, and the camp MVP is just fucking nailing it.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, that would be great. Like I would like to like play on that.
Yeah,
kind
I would
of
like
thing.
to do that as a relay race.
Yeah, we should
That'd
do
be
that.
fun as fuck.
We should try to find that kind of thing. And like, yeah,
gotta go to camp, dude.
camp MVP's nailing it, and they get to the Hall of Intelligence, which apparently jocks cannot be intelligent.
This is what I
either.
love about the '90s too. It's like
If you're
get
good
one-
at stuff, you're not smart.
Yeah, you get one thing. So,
But also, I was thinking the Hall of Intelligence. I couldn't do any of them.
yeah, name 5 vice presidents.
I mean, especially when I'm 12.
Yeah,
But it's the fucking British kid doing all this shit
yeah,
too.
the British
Is it-
kid knows that he's
All right, name 5 vice presidents right now together. All right, so we got Kamala Harris, Joe Biden,
Joe Biden,
Pence.
Pence.
Who the fuck? Oh wait, no. Bush's was the one who shot the guy. He got a movie made
Oh
of that.
fuck! What's his name?
Oh my god.
See, now I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
I know what his
I
name
think it
is.
starts with a V or something. Wild.
Vic? No, Michael Vick.
No,
that's
nope,
a fool.
not Michael Vick.
I don't think it starts with a V.
Does it not? Oh, I'm probably thinking like maybe the movie was called like VP or something wild like that.
Dude, I have no idea.
All right, go even further back. I know our second U.S. president was I'm trying to think of Hamilton shit now. I think Jefferson was vice president.
Oh, was he?
Maybe, or he was president. I don't remember.
I think he was president.
I think he was president. Maybe he
Yeah.
was vice president first.
How are you supposed to know we never learned vice presidents.
No, because they don't do much.
Yeah, they're just there just in case.
Who the fuck was George Bush's vice president? Because
Fuck.
yeah, no, that's driving me
it's
crazy
gonna drive me nuts
now.
because as
Yeah.
soon as we end the episode, I'm gonna know who it is.
He won't though.
Al Gore.
No, he didn't win.
No, but was a
I think he ran and didn't win. I think Bush beat Al Gore.
oh, okay, but
Yeah.
Al Gore was somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, he
That
was
wasn't the guy
somebody.
that shot.
No, Al Gore is the one who was really worried about climate change before any of us believed in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea. So I would have
All
failed.
right, yeah. And then the other one is like paintings, and like I recognize like one of them.
Yeah, but he's naming like the artist and the painting.
Yeah.
and I like that.
You Americans have no culture.
I like that our boy is there. Freaking.
Oh yeah, Lars is in it.
Lars is there.
Full costume. So is the
Wearing a wig.
cameraman.
Yeah, the cameraman
cameraman's
is
in
part
there,
of it,
and he's
too.
fully dressed up too. Like I love that he's joined.
And then the nurse. Why are all the camp counselors from just their camp
That's
in charge?
true. We don't get any of the MVP.
So then I felt like maybe they rigged it.
that's-
you know,
probably
to win.
because they couldn't rig the obstacle course.
yeah.
And now it's go-kart time.
Yeah.
Because also they both now get done at kind of the same time. But also, how does Camp MVP even get through the Hall of Intelligence?
Yeah, 'cause they
he
don't-
doesn't get any of them right.
No, so maybe it's just like after a while, it's like okay, just
Get
move
out of
on.
here,
Yeah.
kid. But then they show up so the idea that the go-karts you don't start at the same time. So one kid could be a full lap ahead is insane
you'd be,
too.
Yeah, but you'd be done. But it's not even a lap. It's just one. It's just
Yeah, the course,
a massive
yeah.
track. But they start at the same time.
Yeah, because even they wait to go at the same time.
And this is the first time this kid's ever driven a go kart.
Yeah, but we find out the captain gets his wings.
but like
This go-kart
he's
track
never
is
driven a go kart before.
no, he just likes them. They're
he
fast.
drove
and
it
he's
one time
slow.
when an adult pushed him in it.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden he's in charge of the last thing. He's the captain though.
Yeah, I guess. Look at
Which
me.
he only got because he went on an airplane.
Yep.
Like, that's the only reason.
Izzy got that the first time she went on an airplane, which
I've
was
never-
2 years ago.
Yeah, but it's just like they just give you the wings. It doesn't mean shit.
No, but he gets-
doesn't mean you're good at go karts.
Very true. But also, like, so he's They're pretty neck and neck. They're running into each other. It's fucking
The course
dangerous.
is wild.
Yeah, because they're also going through a forest.
I
which,
do remember. This is another scene that I do kind of remember when I was
Yeah.
a kid, because
Oh,
I was
sure,
like,
yeah.
like the go-kart going through the trees.
It's
I was
wild,
like, it's
yeah.
insane, and some of it's like only one go-kart can fit.
Right, yeah.
It's
So, like,
so
you can't even
dangerous.
pass each other. Yeah. But now Camp MVP's in the lead. Apparently, it feels like a Fast and Furious. I wish we would gotten some in-car animation
Oh,
for
that'd
this
have
one.
been badass.
Where he throws it into high gear, which, why did you start with that?
Yeah.
Especially if you guys were neck and neck the whole time. You should have just started with that when you were on an actual
And he
go-kart
gets ahead,
track.
and it's like, fuck
Well,
yeah.
no, it's not even just he gets ahead. The boat propeller starts because that's how speed works. And he ramps off
Oh
of
no,
this
no,
thing.
no! So before this,
Okay.
before this, he gets ahead, and everyone's like cheering for him, and
Yeah.
then the guy like cuts him off in the
Oh,
corner,
sure.
and then he gets ahead, and
Yeah.
then they go off a jump.
Well, this is when he switches it into
so
high
then he
gear.
switches it
Yeah.
into the NOS and the burr propeller and goes off a jump.
And then, and because while we were watching, they're like, he wouldn't have made this
There's
jump.
no way
and he
he cleared-
literally hits the other go kart on the way
He
down.
lands on him.
So there's a boat propeller just skimming this kid's face.
But also, Pat built this.
Yeah, Pat's a fucking engineer. Apparently, he should be making a lot more money somewhere else.
And then he fucking lands, and then that's the finish line. It's a photo finish, which I did like, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Well, it wasn't a photo finish. He passed him fully.
Yeah, but it
he
was
fully
that
in front
was,
of
that
them.
was a photo for sure.
Do you know what photo finish means? It means you have to look at the photo to see who's won.
Oh, well, it was a great finish.
It was a cinematic.
It was a
thing.
cinematic finish, which, dude, photos are just stills of cinema.
That's true.
You know, so
It's a
who's
photo-
right?
You think it's a photo finish because it looked good?
It did. If you take a photo of that, that's a
Oh,
great.
that's a good finish.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great finish. You can't deny it.
No, I'm not.
It was a photo finish for sure.
And then everyone's really feeling the win because Pat goes, "You bet I'm crazy about my gal," and then grabs his coworker,
The nurse.
and makes out
And
with
makes
her.
out with her.
Luckily,
What?
Luckily, she's cool with it.
But also,
What a risk.
We didn't know they were flirting obviously through the movie, but
Kind of.
they weren't.
Their flirting was just
Their
being nice to
coworker,
each
yeah.
other and appreciating that they're not mean to
And
these
then
fat
he just
kids.
makes out with her, and I got excited, but I was just like, "That was out of the blue.
That was a risk.
That was out of the blue."
Yeah, that could have gone real bad.
But it was awesome, dude.
And also, I think one of you pointed this out is like instead of pouring Gatorades on somebody, they poured a cooler full of cans. on
Full of cans on the
Which would
people,
hurt
which
so
would hurt.
bad.
Yeah, just ding 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 ding. Which I think that's a good joke.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I love that.
good
That's a
bit
Judd
that-
Apatow bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a bit where it's like this would be funny because they
this
don't
movie
quite
had
know.
really good details in it, which I
Yes.
appreciate. Which I do think comes from it being written by Judd
Yeah, it's a
Apatow,
Judd
who is
Apatow,
such
yeah.
a smart comedian.
Where it's like
yeah.
it doesn't. If you don't notice, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
still like fun, but like there's really funny moments
Yes.
too.
I love when that kid got a kiss at the dance.
Yeah,
it's so
that,
good.
That was a wild one. But then we realized camp's over, and all we kept talking about is like, God, these kids, they think they just like they did win. They won the
won.
summer.
They took
They're
over-
doing great, but now they're going back to a school that hates them.
Yeah, and they're not.
They're all separate. They're all traveling across the country.
They don't live near each other, so then they don't. And then they're just going to be the fat kid again.
Yeah,
that
who's
sucks.
lying about their summer trip?
Yeah, people are going to say, "No, you didn't." There's no way you took
did-
that. There's no way you built an electric fence and put an adult in it.
Yeah.
There's
Shut
no
up.
way. There's
Yeah.
no way you
'Cause
launched a
also-
go kart over another go
Because
kart.
also something Nathan talked about, I think someone else, where a lot of people should have gone to prison because like
Yeah, when
Ben Stiller goes away in a limo,
Yeah, because
That's it.
his dad comes to pick him up,
and
like,
that's it. He does. No one called the cops.
yeah, which is insane. And then they just let the camp continue.
Yep,
without any insurance or like.
well, I mean,
And then
Yeah,
the
I don't
credits, and then the credits roll, right?
Yeah,
and then
and-
what's wild is the credits song is a song with all of the cast.
yep. Camp Hope theme song. I love it.
But I was just like, what is this?
Yeah,
It
well,
would-
that's how a lot of movies used to end. Is they would do a rap song about the movie, and
then
it's awesome.
and it's just the cast from it.
Lars had its own verse, and it was great. It was a weird techno German
it came-
shit.
Yeah, you did a little bit of polka
Went
in there.
full- yeah, it was more polka than discotheque, true.
But it was awesome. And then there was a freaking extra scene.
Yeah, the mid credit scene.
Mid-credit scene with-
where a knock at the door, you open it up. It's fucking Tony.
Yep, he's doing something new again.
He's
He's selling
selling
crystals, dude.
Not even J.O. crystals.
I was really hoping, because from the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, Ben Stiller is the guy from Dodgeball.
Right.
So I was hoping that like the post-credit scene would be the post-credit scene from Dodgeball where he's fat again eating ice cream.
Sure.
Because that would have been
A weird message for this children's movie. Though.
it would have. But imagine if you saw it, you go,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?" It'd be like a weird like full circle.
That
Like
is a weird, wild post-credit scene at the end of Dodgeball where he does a titty dance, eating fried chickens.
fat
and
as fuck.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, dude. But that's hilarious. But imagine if he was fat again. But
So I
no,
would
he's just doing his side hustle thing.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
There was a lot of times where I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, we will share. Stay tuned because our next part will be a little Izzy's insights.
Yeah,
and
'cause she
after
watched
that,
it with us.
We will be giving our Moist Movie of the Month meter.
Moist.
Let me do it again.
Try again.
We will be doing the Moist Movie of the Month moist meter.
Which will be momentarily. Oh, Ams, baby.
Stick around. Welcome back to Izzy's Insights.
Hello.
About heavyweights.
Izzy, how'd you feel about it?
I actually really liked it. I thought it was really wholesome and really cute.
Any favorite moments?
Well, like overall, Ben Stiller is a much better actor than I think I've given him credit for in the past.
Oh,
Yeah.
for this role.
He's really
Yeah,
funny.
he's very good in this.
He went full bore for
He
this.
did.
Yes,
Like
full
he
bore.
he actually like went in like obviously he's not afraid of making fun of himself,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's really funny in it.
When he did that yoga stretch pose with the tongue out.
Yeah.
Jesus
that was
Christ.
an all-out moment.
Yeah, I think he did really well.
One of my
I think
favorite
he's funny.
things when we were watching it is like at the beginning, you got upset when Ben Stiller came out because you were like, "Oh, I thought it was just going to be a wholesome movie about."
I did. For a second, I really thought it was just going to be
Fun
a
at Fat
fun
Camp.
movie, maybe like a love drama, like triangle
Fat
or
Camp.
something, and Fat Camp. But
she got upset. She was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And that made me laugh so
Well, that's
hard.
how she felt the same way the camp
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah,
did.
which,
exactly.
which is what you're supposed to feel, I guess. I knew it was going to happen immediately because Ben Stiller on the cover.
I've never seen it, so I mean, I knew he was in it. I guess.
So you never even watched it as a kid?
No.
Oh, I think I did, but I didn't remember.
I'd
it.
seen this as a
So
kid.
there was
yeah.
a few scenes.
If I'm going to be honest, I didn't know it was a Disney movie.
Yeah, isn't that wild? 1995. This
Yeah.
movie's 29 years old.
It's problematic, so
Is
probably.
it?
Well, that's what we were talking about. like,
Sometimes.
it's very positive though too.
But also, they do full Indian garb.
Well, there's that. Yeah, that
So,
part.
Yeah.
And then also, like,
That's
when
just
you,
the
and also when you
times.
call a fat kid a little chubby, like,
A little
Yeah.
pig
got your little snout and something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, yikes.
it's a lot.
little
But
rough.
also, like, you're supposed to have a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But also, like, the girls, they make a bulimic joke.
yeah, that
Jesus.
that maybe would have been removed.
Like the
yeah.
7-year-old made a bulimic joke.
Yeah. Which, I mean, back in the 90s,
That was big back then.
Yeah.
Well,
Bulimia.
came back. Yeah,
Big in the 90s.
it was.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
it
Yeah.
was very popular. Not good, but popular. Yeah, so what was your overall thoughts? You liked it? What would
did.
you give it? We're not going to give our ratings yet, but what would you give it? What would you rate it? Would you watch it again?
I would maybe give it a 7 out of 10. I probably wouldn't watch it again.
7 out of 10 is not bad.
I would maybe get really high and watch it again like several years in the future.
Sure.
It's a good just background movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's fun. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It made me laugh a couple of times. So
It also made me go, what the hell's going on?
yeah, that too. When they had him in a cage.
Yeah, it was
And
electric. Jesus Christ, that was fucked up.
I want to know how they got him out of the hole.
Yeah, we
like, did they
talked about
knock
that.
him out
I
in
don't
the
see-
hole
but how-
and then pull him out?
He
would've
could have climbed out of the hole.
They would have
too.
carried him miles.
Yeah, they would have
Like,
hiked
they
with
were-
him.
That's true.
Yeah,
And also, how do they dig the hole?
I don't know.
That's-
and they
there's-
did it like really quickly.
yeah.
There's just so many things in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like, deal with it. This is what happens.
It's a Disney movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't ask, don't tell. I think that started at Disney.
I liked it though. I did really like it.
It was fun, and it feels fun to do a moist movie of the month.
Yeah. This Moist Movie of the Month Moist Meter is brought to you by Fat Tire.
Fat Tire Ale.
Get it?
Jacob's like texting me and he's like, I picked up a beer for this movie that we can review, and I was like, what's going to be related to like Fat Camp? And then I pulled Fat Tire.
Yep. I tried to see if anything had the word blob in it or something fun like that.
Yeah.
I looked for
Fat Tires, that's a great pick.
Fat Tire was my safe choice, and
Yeah.
I was trying to find something better.
Something better.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if every month we just try and find something that kind of relates.
That's my goal. Yeah, like maybe later we can do cocktails.
Ooh, yeah, depending
Yeah.
on what people drink in movies.
Right,
Like that's
yeah.
why we drink Corona on Fast and Furious.
That's true. Yeah,
But here's how we're doing it. So instead of giving the movie a rating, we're doing it a beer pour.
Yeah,
So
so-
we blind. I don't know what Jacob's poured. He doesn't know what I poured. It's blind. If you're watching on YouTube, it's blurred right now.
and we're gonna find out if it's more of a glass half empty movie or glass half full.
And then we're gonna end it by no matter what we rated it, we got to chug it.
And then that's just the end.
And then that's the end. So before we do the reveal, any closing thoughts on Heavyweights?
I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
Yes.
I feel as for a childhood film, it held up way better than a lot more would.
Yeah, and I think there was good adult humor in it
Yes.
that was subtle, and it was also like it was just a feel good, fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it'd be a great movie. A lot of people watch it like with their significant others or families. It'd be a great family movie. Like if
Yeah,
you have young
there's-
kids, I think Turbo watched it with his family. That's awesome.
I believe our friend Nathan said he would have enjoyed it as a kid.
Yeah, I wonder if I would have because I was a fat kid. Like I wonder how fat kids would have thought about
Yeah,
it.
if you would have identified, if you had been like, oh.
Would have been like, this sucks.
Or you're like, I want to go to fat camp.
Yeah. How come that guy didn't show up to my house?
Yeah.
But I did really enjoy it. We haven't decided what we're doing for the next Moist Movie of the Month, but we will
Announce it very soon.
and
Yes.
post on social media. So
All
stay
right.
tuned for that. Now it's time.
For the reveal, am I going to knock your cup over?
Just go straight.
Straight out?
Yeah.
All right. Moist movie of the month. Our first moist movie of the month, Moist Meter, is at
Oh!
pretty close. Ooh.
oh my-
Robert liked it a little better.
Oh my God, dude. I think our beer, like our foam.
Yeah,
I
is
think
that the exact same?
I think our beer's at the exact same level.
But I think your beer is a little higher, but I poured way too much foam.
Oh my God, dude. This movie was a glass half full movie. And that's pretty good.
Yep.
Not a full can of beer, but still a pretty good movie.
All right.
So cheers to Heavyweights.
Yep. Happy moist movie of the month.
Love you, dude.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.